In case you need a refresher, I'd like to recap what you may have missed in the first hour of Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Saying goodbye.
What the hell? These Jason movies got fucking ridiculous! Let's talk a little bit about the backstory of this major misleading letdown of a motion picture. It was a film that was advertised as Jason Rampages Through New York, whether it was in the TV appearances or in the posters that say, New York has a new problem. Yeah, the cruise ship had a bigger body count. Using the tagline, just another Friday, would have been a much better choice. But the movie's extreme low budget and further budget cuts prevented a lot of what the filmmakers wanted to do with it. So, over an hour of the movie was set on the cruise ship, and scenes from the script, which featured the Brooklyn Bridge, the Empire State Building, and Madison Square Garden, were cut out. Pretty much anything that you would picture in your head for a movie called Jason Takes Manhattan is not anywhere close to being featured in the film. But I'm sure the film's trailer at least pointed out that this is primarily a boat film with very little of New York. Nope, it doesn't. The entirety of the trailer is Jason staring at New York City, and then this shit happens.
Friday the 13th, Part 8.
Nothing like that ever happens in this film. It's what makes even fans of this movie say, damn, fuck you. But we are now officially in the last act of the film. Which means we are off of the cruise ship and we can finally get to New York City despite what little time we have left in the film. No, please, at this point, movie, you've earned a break. While they're hanging out in purgatory from St. Elsewhere, we can at least count on Charles to still be a dick.
I hope you can find shore soon, Captain. We all don't want to drown out here.
When you're done playing with your Game Boy, Sean, I would like to use it as bait to catch me a smallmouth bass. You can tell they've been stranded out at sea for hours because they all look fine. Okay, any minute now, they are actually going to make it to New York City. It eventually has to happen! Oh my god, movie! Wake up, you padded piece of shit!
Yo, wake up. Oh, shit. Check it out! Damn, we're in New York! You did it, man, you did it! We are in New York! New York City!
Wow, they're looking at second unit footage while they're sitting in a stage pool. That's right, even though the characters have finally made it, I'm still gonna complain. That's because, again, due to the small budget, even when they're in New York, they still didn't have the budget to film there, except for 5% of the scenes, so most of it is shot in Vancouver. Poor Jason, that's a lot of underwater walking. Why didn't he just take them out when they were napping? Let the rampaging begin! There will be no rampaging. Stop being funny, Part 8. Only Part 6 is allowed to be funny. You could tell me that this was filmed in Twin Peaks, and I'd have believed it, but oh no, there's muggers, so I guess that means New York. Her necklace gets taken, as if it's hard to find a Statue of Liberty necklace in New York. Rennie is kidnapped, and I bet you all wish you stayed on that sinking ship now, huh? Well, I guess in a way they kinda are.
Calm down, will you? You heard what he said? They'll kill her! We have to find the police!
Have you noticed yet that Charles is one of those characters that we're supposed to hate, but he's the only one who is constantly making sense?
But Sean said that we needed to drop the anchors.
I'm the one you should be listening to. Do you think dropping an anchor in the middle of a storm makes any sense whatsoever?
Yeah, why am I supposed to hate him again? And why the fuck isn't someone here to tell them that they're doomed? Oh, right. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that one of the muggers went on to become a fly girl. The good news is that she won't die because she's the final girl, but the bad news is that she's now addicted to heroin. Though for a moment, Jason becomes the hero when he actually saves her from being raped. He only kills both parties when it's consensual.
Who the fuck are you?
But he's gonna kill this guy for asking stupid questions. It's clearly the hockey player from the billboard. You know that guy could be fine. You better double tap him, Jason. With this city being so big, I doubt Jason will find any of them. Huh. I guess New York is pretty small if you never leave the same block. I gotta hand it to Julius, though. Despite what we all know is gonna happen here, he is one character in a Friday the 13th movie who says, "Fuck it, I know I'm going out, so I'm gonna go out swinging." And once about a minute's worth of punching the shit out of Jason goes by, this happens. Easiest joke in the whole episode. Meanwhile, Rennie is high as fuck and lost in New York. How is she ever gonna find... Oh, there's Sean. Why are they all split up? And Charles is the only one to actually get the cops. I'm rooting more and more for him as this film goes along. Unfortunately, the cop sticks around about as long as Julius's severed head does. Why couldn't there have been a scene of Jason dumpster diving for the head? But at least now they have a getaway car. You idiot! Oh no, Miss Van Dusen didn't make it out.
Van Dusen!
Well, that's nice. Jason victims, 17. Rennie victims, 1. I suppose we have time for a flashback, though. Not like there's a killer chasing them. Let's find out the origin of Rennie's fear of water. It has to do with Charles opting for tough love in teaching Rennie how to swim. And at this point in the timeline, shouldn't Jason still be chained down there from the ending of part 6? I guess this is the worst thing anyone in Crystal Lake has ever done. Okay, so that was a bit dickish on Charles' part, but that's how we taught people to swim in my day.
You pushed me into the lake.
Yeah, I was only trying to teach you.
Can we talk about this later?
You son of a bitch.
Yes, Charles' bad swimming lessons clearly means he deserves to be stranded with a fucking death sentence. But he does survive getting thrown through a window because no one can harm the agent for harm. That is, unless it involves being drowned in a barrel of toxic waste. Peter Mark Richmond as the Joker. I like it. And what's with the weird poetic justice in nearly all of these death scenes? The bad swimming teacher drowns, the rocker is killed with a guitar, the boxer gets his head knocked off, the cokehead is killed with a piece of mirror, a deleted scene even shows this guy as a high diving champion. 6 out of 10. How dare this movie put thought into its death scenes? Again, guys, deranged killer, chasing you.
I was at school and they told me, Rennie, your parents died in a car accident.
Jesus Christ, one tragic backstory at a time, please.
It just seems like everybody I care about, I lose.
Yeah, tell that to the guy who literally just lost his father. Yeah, but whatever, deaths. Time to make out. Cut that shit out! Ooh, they're now in the subway. There's lots of people there. This could be a scene where Jason is just hacking away at people left and right, but nope, he just walks right past them. He takes more anger out on the door than the people in the subway. In fact, he's no more of a dick than you'd usually see at this time of night. And that includes Rennie and Sean. That's a good way to piss off a Jason, and you're making people late for work. See, even the subway car would rather be watching part 6. Maybe now we can see him fight the Cloverfield parasites. Have you not seen any of these movies? Electricity is what makes him stronger. Oh, are you sure you want to show the city now, or would you rather sleep some more? Too little, too late. You owe me a Diet Coke. Well, now they clarify that Jason taking Manhattan simply means he just kinda stands there and looks around a bit. I think this scene is mainly here so that they can show this clip on talk shows to promote and misrepresent the movie.
Yo, man, it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Admittedly, it is the best clip of the movie. And if all of these locations and characters look familiar, it's because the opening credit sequence already showed you every single one of the locations they use for the New York scenes. But what it doesn't show you is that the cook in the diner is played by Ken Kersinger, who would later go on to play Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. That's right, we got Jason vs. Jason. And Kane Hodder easily wins. So they couldn't afford Madison Square Garden, but at least they got to film in the location for every Italian post-apocalyptic movie ever. Although I think those movies may be a little more realistic. Cue the city employee.
Can you help us get out of here?
Sure can, but we haven't got a minute to spare.
What do you mean?
Toxic waste, son. The sewer floods out with this stuff every night at midnight.
What? The sewer floods every... What? Why so specific? Whatever. But what he forgot to tell them is that every night at 11:45, slasher movie villains cave your skull in. Everyone knows this. Rennie soon remembers that Jason can be distracted like a cat who will instantly murder you afterwards. Thankfully, around every corner is a hot barrel of toxic waste. But if the sewer floods every night, why the fuck do they need to... Again, whatever. Just throw it in Jason's face. Now I feel sorry for him. He has kind eyes in this movie. So, a pen to the eye didn't hurt him. an axe to the head, multiple bullet wounds, etc. But his real kryptonite is the ooze. Oh yeah, and the flood of toxic waste to wash away the chuds. Ew! They all float down here, Jason, my boy. Since he's the god of electricity, the sky goes nuts, and originally they wanted Jason to dissolve in the toxic waste, but thought that that might write them into a corner for future installments. So, what did they use as their conclusion? Oh, that makes sense. He's back to being a child now, as if he's the slasher movie version of Joshua Baskin. The hell kind of sense does that make? How does that not write you into a corner? Doesn't matter. Now Rennie and Sean can finally go see Black and Blue.
I hear there's a statue here that's 22 stories tall.
Everyone you know is dead. And the dog returns after probably hanging out with Muffin from part 2, and someone better get that kid out of the sewer before it floods again. And that's my theory about how Jason Voorhees caused 9/11. Can I have a radio show now? Friday the 13th Part 8 became the last of the Paramount-produced Friday the 13th films before selling the series to New Line Cinema. Aw man, but they finally got pantyhose that fit, at last! Paramount would later have a hand in the 2009 remake. The reason for selling off the series was due largely in part to the film underperforming at the box office. While it had only a $5 million budget and brought in $14 million, it became the second lowest grossing film of the series. The film was released in the summer of 1989, the same summer which meant that Jason had to fight off such hits as Batman, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Ghostbusters 2, even A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 brought in a little bit more than Jason Takes Manhattan. Perhaps, I don't know, a movie called Jason Takes Manhattan should have actually delivered on that promise. You'll never catch Home Alone 2 in that kind of lie. Even Rob Hedden, the writer and director, acknowledged that yes, perhaps more of the movie should have been set in New York. Oh, really? You think? If the movie had a small budget and couldn't shoot nearly as much in New York, then fine. But don't advertise for a movie that you can't make. At least Jason Goes to Hell was called Jason Goes to Hell, which does happen, and not Jason Takes Hell. Even Jason X delivered tenfold on its promise that Jason is in space, and Friday the 13th 3D had so much 3D in it that I'm still picking popcorn out of my clothes. But every criticism that I have just said in this two-part review is instantly negated by the fact that Jason is very funny in this movie. We'll be picking up on this series again in October, even though I did accidentally just spoil that Jason does go to hell. Sorry about that. Want to see more Cinema Snob episodes? Do you like movie reviews from people in cars? How about animated cat detectives? Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/StonedGremlinProductions. Follow us on Twitter at The Cinema Snob, or check out our homepage at thecinemasnob.com. And you guessed correctly, I am a little drunk.
You don't understand. There is a maniac trying to kill us.
Welcome to New York.